Namaskar. Outline of urban geography is the topic of discussion in this episode. Human settlement is concentrated in towns, cities, metropolis and megalopolis. Civic communities, job potential, trade and commerce, education, entertainment and industrial applications are the attractive elements for most of the people to prefer such destinations. A town becomes a city becomes a super city, and many of them grow over a period of time. The rate at which they grow differs due to various reasons. All of these are studied in the subject geography. The subject of geography is broadly divided into physical and human geography. Urban geography is an attractive branch of human geography. Urban geography is primarily concerning with the geography of towns, their situations, patterns, layouts, housing and hierarchical organization of population concentration and service areas. The process by which the growth of a settlement towards a town or a city is known as urbanization. Urban geography mainly deals with the study of compact non-agricultural settlements, mainly the towns and cities. The subject urban geography also focuses on the spatial dimensions of the urban centers, that is, their origin, location, siting, growth, functions and relationship with each other. The term urban refers to towns or cities having marked secondary or tertiary functions along with the municipality or any notified area. Urbanization is a process of population increase in urban areas. There are essentially two approaches to urban geography: the study of problems relating to the spatial distribution of cities themselves and the complex patterns of movement, flows and linkages that bind them in space. Studies in this category are concerned with the city system. Secondly, there is the study of patterns of distribution and interaction within the cities, essentially the study of their internal structure and also other related aspects. Studies in this category are concerned with the city as a system once again. A succinct way to define urban geography that recognizes the link between these two approaches within the subject is then that urban geography is the study of cities as systems within a system of cities. The very essential factors of urbanization are site and situation. Site describes the location of a city with respect to its soil, water supply and relief, or more still the actual point on which a settlement is built, while the situation describes the surrounding area of the city such as other settlements, rivers, mountains and communication. Locations for cities are usually chosen for various reasons, especially the good reasons. Benefits of certain locations can include a wet area, a dry area and so many factors. A wet area in which water is a constant necessity for urban areas and is difficult to transport. For this reason, many cities are located near or adjacent to rivers. Next comes the dry areas. In wet areas, a dry area offers protection from flooding and marshlands. Easy access to building materials is another factor. Stone, wood or clay are necessary for the construction of cities and are difficult to transport long distances. A strategic defensive position is another factor. Historically, many cities have been constructed on high grounds. This is done in order to make attack more difficult and give a good view of the surrounding lands. Quebec City is one such example. River meanders are also used as partial moats. Some cities are also built in swampy areas for the same reason. Example, Paris. Fuel supply is another important factor for a city to grow. Most cities were initially constructed near wood for burning and cooking. Today, many cities are constructed near coal, oil and gas mines to make use of these resources. Locations like Newcastle, Glasgow, Pittsburgh, Essen and other places are belonging to this category. Sufficient food supply is an important factor for a city to grow. Cities need some nearby land to be suitable for animal grazing or crop growing. A travel intersection point and bridging point are needed for any city to grow. It is often useful for a city to be located at the intersection of rivers, roads or train lines or railway lines in order to facilitate travel and trade. Bridging points are shallow areas that allow easy construction of bridges, for example London and other places. Historically, many cities grew at so called break of bulk points along navigable rivers, where a local obstacle such as rapids required trade goods to be transshipped from larger boats to smaller boats. Next comes the shelter and aspect. It is desirable to construct cities located on the side of a slope that is protected from incoming winds and in a direction that receives maximum sun exposure. Cities as centers of manufacturing and services is another factor. Cities differ in their economic makeup, their social and demographic characteristics and the roles they play within the city system. Urbanization also indicates the growth of various activities like manufacturing, trade and commerce. The activities which are threatening the existence of agricultural areas are also studied under urban geography. In all this, a town is considered as a dwelling place where people are engaged in industry, retail trade, wholesale trade and transport activities. Modern metropolitan civilization is based on industrialization and urbanization. In all this, humans are the pivotal points and geography of environment becomes the base of all development in any region. Urban conglomerations are brought together as a common location as urban center. The United Nations Organization defines an urban center as permanent settlement with not less than 20,000 inhabitants. This holds good for the United States of America, but the value is less for many other countries. Urbanization is characterized by movement of people from small communities concerned solely in the agriculture to large communities concerned with government work and works related to commerce and trade, manufacture, education and entertainment. Urbanization refers to the increase in the number of existing urban units and multiplication of points of concentration over a period of time. The characteristics of urbanization differs between developed and developing countries. With reference to these differences, we have to consider urban geography. The forces that make urbanization, the difference in the ratio of population to resources and levels of living, the difference in basic outlook and value systems and the difference in technological advancement. Another major component of urbanization is net migration. People migrate from one place to another for want of employment, medical treatment, recreational facilities and educational opportunities. Urban areas are attractive zones for all of these applications. Most of the industries are located in urban fringes. Net migration happens due to several push and pull factors. They include factors at home in the rural village which push the individual towards the urban places, factors in the urban places themselves which exert pulling mechanism in the urban places. The push factors of migration are low level productivity and agricultural lands, tenant factors, improved transportation, improved communication, higher education and good medical facilities, fragmentation of agricultural holdings, recurring failure of monsoons, frequent droughts, crop failures and uncertainty of markets are considered to be the causes of migration. Urbanization is increasing in both developed and developing countries today. Wherever there is urbanization, the people go for better prospects, but simultaneously the problems are also expected to increase. Sometimes it may affect the economy due to some intrinsic reasons. Rapid urbanization, particularly the growth of large cities and associated problems of unemployment, poverty, inadequate health facilities, poor sanitation, increasing urban slums and uncontrollable environmental degradation pose a serious challenge to many developing countries for their growth. Studying urban geography is not only essential for development planning, but also has a lot of scope for decision making operations in the public administration and environmental management. The subject of urban geography includes various aspects under the following units: scope of urban geography, origin and evolution of towns, classification of towns, theories, notions and arrangement of cities, metropolis and the mental life. In this episode, we are going to see all these 5 aspects together. Let us see the first one, the scope of urban geography. The town and urban settlement and the stages of urbanization are analyzed first under urban geography. Urbanization helps in both economic development and regional development. Models of urban development are also evolved and studied in this branch of geography. The nature of city and its geography are studied with reference to several dimensions. They are urbanization process, structure and organization of cities, central places and urban systems, urban functions, economic activities in urban areas, urban lure and transportation, central business districts, industries and offices, residential areas, problems and prospects of urban areas, the third world cities, urban planning and the future of cities. Next comes origin and evolution of towns. The origin and evolution of towns are very essential elements of development. They are analyzed in the following units as origin and growth of towns. Every town originates due to one core function. So, the types of origin has to be studied in this. The types of origin of towns may be political, a village may be growing, it may be a religious town, it may be an industrial town, it may be a commercial town, a transport town, a resort town, and the whim of rulers town and the resettlement town. These are all the features which are controlling the origin of towns. Next comes the location and siting of towns is an essential part of urban geography. It involves the specific location of towns and its significance. Towns may be riverside towns, interfluvial locations, confluence towns, contact towns, break-o-bulk towns, hill stations, frontier guard towns, nodal towns, fall line towns, mining towns, raw material towns, seaboard towns, bridgehead towns. These are some of the towns which have got specific purposes. A major part of urban geography lies in the classification of towns also. The classification is done based on population and functions, age, stage of development, physical entity and other factors. The functional classification of towns include administrative towns, commercial towns, market towns, mining towns, industrial towns, cultural towns like educational, entertainment and religious towns, resort towns, defense towns, residential towns. In addition to this, studies in functional classification are also done under urban geography. A lot of studies are carried out with reference to the functional classification. They include the concepts like administration, defense, culture, production, communication, collection, transfer, distribution and recreation. There is yet another dimension of study in urban geography. It is related to the theories, notions and arrangements of cities. In this, the aspects like central place theory, internal structure of cities, social geography of cities, industrial cities, geography of housing, twin cities, the concept of neighborhood, political geography of cities, urban planning process, housing policy and economy of cities, all are studied under this group. Next comes the morphology of towns. The morphology of towns, theories and models in urban studies, urban ecology and land use and the growth of urbanization in the world are essential aspects to be studied or understood in this subject. The metropolis and mental life have a direct relationship. Every urban dweller has to balance the problems and prospects of a city life. In this urban geographic area, topics like urban culture, urban water supply, urban transport, urban housing, urban environment, slums and squatters, rural urban fringes, rural urban linkages, master plan of towns, policies of urban development and problems of urban development are all studied today under the subject of urban geography. Urban geographers seek to understand how factors interact over space, what functions they serve and in what way they have their interrelationship. Urban geographers also look at the development of settlements. Therefore, it involves planning, city expansion and improvements. Urban geography attempts to account for the human and environmental impacts of the change. Urban geography focuses on the city in the context of space throughout the countries and continents. Urban geography forms the theoretical basis for a number of professions including urban planning, site selection, real estate development, crime pattern analysis and logistical analysis. In the past, urban geography was preoccupied with explaining why cities were located, where they were located and how they developed as they did and generalizing about the nature of the cities. Contemporary urban geography tends to take a more critical approach towards the cities. In other words, such places are not simply to be viewed as given physical environments or as discrete dots on the maps that can be explained by objective scientists looking down from this space. Rather, cities are complex human systems that are reconstructed every day by our words and actions. Urban geography is an important subject of geography today, which has to be studied by every administrator and environmental planner. Urban geography includes two essential components. One is the urban design, another one is the theory of city design. Let us see the urban design. Urban design concerns the arrangement, appearance and functionality of towns and cities, and in particular the shaping and uses of urban public space. It has many subunits like urban planning, landscape architecture or architecture. In recent times, it has been linked to an emergent discipline such as landscape urbanism. Urban design requires a good understanding of a large, wide range of aspects like real estate development, urban economies, political economy and social theory. Urban design theory deals with the design and management of public space and the way public places are experienced and used. Public space includes the totality of spaces used freely on a day-to-day basis by the general public. These are the streets, plazas, shopping malls, parks and public infrastructure. Some aspects of privately owned spaces such as building facades or domestic gardens also contribute to public space and are therefore considered by urban design theory. Urban design may encompass the preparation of design guidelines and regulatory frameworks. It also includes legislation to control development, advertising and other aspects. It is in this sense urban design overlaps with urban planning. It may also encompass the design of particular spaces and structures. Again, it is in that sense overlaps with architecture, landscape architecture, highway engineering and industrial design. It may also deal with place management to guide and assist the use and maintenance of urban areas and public spaces. In urban geography, urban design considers several factors. The following are the important factors: urban structure, urban typology, accessibility, legibility and wayfinding, animation, function and fit, complementary mixed uses, character, continuity and change, civil society and other aspects. Let us see these aspects one by one. The first aspect of urban design consideration is the urban structure. How a place is put together and how its parts relate to each other under an urban structure is the first one. It is followed by the urban typology, where the density and sustainability, spatial types and morphologies are related to the intensity of urban use and the consumption of resources and production and maintenance of various communities are discussed. Next comes the accessibility. Accessibility is to provide anything for ease, safety and choice when moving to and through places. Next comes the legibility and wayfinding. These factors help people to find their way around and understand how a place works. Next aspect is the animation. Designing places to simulate public activity is an important factor of urban design. It is a part of urban geography also. Function and fit are helpful in shaping the places to support their varied intended uses. Complementary mixed uses involves locating activities to allow constructive interaction between various units. The character and meaning refers to the recognizing and valuing the differences between one place and the other place. The order and incident are other factors. Balancing consistency and variety in the urban environment in the interest of appreciating both order and incident is an essential part in urban life. Next comes the continuity and change. Locating people in time and place, including respect for heritage and support for contemporary culture, are very essential in urban design. Next comes the civil society. Making places where people are free to encounter each other as civic equals is an important component for building social capital. In urban design, all these aspects are included. So, under the subject of urban geography, we study the urban design, urban planning, town planning and the theory of city design.